that's what we need to be doing, trying to get there. We need a new fucking construct to this time. We're gonna write our own narrative to this shit.
Well, that's where it's supposed to be anyway. You're supposed to write your own narrative. Not believe what somebody else tell you are or who you are.
Etymology, going into the construct, or what did you say? What did you say?
Fucking science.
Yeah, to the science. Then we'll go into the structure of a corporation.
What?
The structure of a corporation. Dealing with the etymology and the science.
This nigga goddamn words, man.
And then go into how it affects society and how we can break it. Or how to break it. or dodge it or whatever. I mean, go shit. Or we're gonna even talk about how deep we are already in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we can talk how deep we already into this shit. You know, which that's gonna bring up all the way this pandemic and shit, all the way up to date. I mean, you know, we ain't no fucking doctors and shit, nothing, so we can't say really how it's affecting us, how it's really affecting us. I mean, you know, biologically, we might can do the psyche, but not biologically. I don't think we can. We're not doctors or nothing. So,
what does having to, being a doctor got anything to do with anything else?
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying. That's
just
out there to see what y'all gonna say.
You know, that's just somebody's interpretation on what they know.
Right.
That's just right. Print them out a piece of paper that say, yeah, you be fuck with you.
Right. Yeah, you're able to be controlled. You're able to be told what to do. You will conform when need be. That's what that paper means to me.
Oh yeah, when we call upon you.
You will conform, yes. Yes.
We need you to goddamn answer the call, nigga.
You will be that, yes. Fuck all the dumb shit. No matter what you say with your mouth, nigga, your actions gonna prove. And that's the thing that they really don't want you to understand. Your actions prove everything.
Yeah.
As y'all see, this administration didn't have too many secretive shits going down.
Yeah, it seemed like they was telling a lot of secrets. It seemed like they was revealing a lot of motherfucking secrets.
Right. And that's why everybody hate him. And the general public don't understand why they hate him, because they have been programmed to hate him. But they refuse to. They have been programmed.
They just look at their own side, like.
Yeah. I know a cat. He religiously was in the army. This nigga said, "Man, I know I made the sacrifice. I did." I said, "Well, you should know better. You should fucking know better. If anybody, because you made the sacrifice, you should know better that this is all bullshit. You should know that outright. If you don't know that outright, come on, man.
And that's when
you want to admit it.
Ain't no, like it's a rap. Like, you ain't get it by now, man. Like, if you still like happy-go-lucky about this shit,
you's an idiot.
Man.
And whatever you get, you fucking deserve. Whatever I get, I fucking deserve. Dead ass. I about to ask for some real bogus shit to go down, and folk about to look at me like, man, you fucking up. Mark my words. Mark my words. Because I have real issues with how all this shit is running. I'm against it all. I'm about to stand up and make it known.
But damn, I be seeing your fucking damn conversations, and niggas be like, "What are you talking about? I fucking hate you. I want to kill you and your fucking damn family."
I get under their skin because I'm telling you a part of the truth that you don't fucking see.
Americans are ending the American experiment for older proven methods of government.
What is the American experiment, Sanchez? That's what you need to look up. You can't ask me to explain shit that's right there.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Before America, have there ever been a country like America? Think about that. Every other country was made up for what?
The American experiment.
Made up for what?
Made up for
the American experiment.
To serve what? A monarch?
Okay. You mean as far as the constitute, like how the government was constituted?
Yeah.
Right. Was this a book?
Oh.
Come on, Thomas Jefferson.
Okay. And what did he talk about? The American experiment.
The Declaration of Independence and the American colonies defied Britain, the most powerful nation on earth at the time. As we live around the world, how difficult it is for democracy and freedom to take hold and flourish. America seems like a political miracle. How the fuck is it a political miracle if it's hard to grasp democracy?
Because it's not about democracy and freedom. You're missing the point. It's never been about democracy or fucking freedom.
Well, I agree.
It's never been a democracy.
I agree. So they just writing that shit.
But what they're writing is propaganda. Okay?
That's what I'm saying.
And they're telling you that the Great American Experiment was about democracy and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
The Great American Experiment is about two different people being able to live together without fighting and killing each other over land that was neither one of theirs.
In 1782.
Well, over land that was one people's and not the others. Two different religions. Because you know what they call this place, right? It's Turtle Island, right?
Who? America?
The natives, yeah. You know what the word America means, right?
What, Amerigo?
No.
The word itself?
Yeah.
Cyprianus?
What's the etymology of America?
I never even checked. He told us that.
America. You don't mean native?
Make a look it up, man.
Like I have looked that shit up before.
No, you ain't.
Etymology.com.
According to
Etymology of America.
According to Wikipedia, the name America was coined by
Now,
Martin Waldseemüller from American
this is what you know,
the
right?
Latinized version of the name of Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer
From
found the
Amerigo,
South American
right?
east coast of the Caribbean Sea in the
Mm-hmm.
early 16th century.
That's what they tell you, right?
Artificial radioactive element.
What is Amaru? The name of the land that was here before. Because it's always been called America.
Right.
It's always been called the Americas because you got North and South, right?
Right.
So that means the white people didn't name it America.
Right. That's what I was like.
So therefore, they can't have named it after Amerigo Vespucci at any point in time.
Because it was a radio.
Because that man's last name is Vespucci. How you gonna name that somebody's first name?
Right.
Okay. So Amuru is the plumed serpent. America actually means the land of the plumed serpent.
A land of what?
The land of the plumed serpent.
Plumed?
Plumed.
Like a peacock?
Right. You know, like a serpent with feathers.
Yeah.
Define plume.
You think of a peacock with the feathers and shit?
Said plume. Decorated with, or as if with feathers. Plume surface.
You gotta think about it now. This land was around before white people came.
I say niggas in Atlanta look like they have a bunch of Indians.
Well, you know, they stole the land from the natives to get most of Georgia.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still apparent. I'm saying, like,
Yes, it is.
you go to different regions, man, you can tell, like, yo, something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if the whole birth, the roles was uninterrupted, it would be fucking simple. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it was an Incan god. Or the Incan came up with Amaraku. He had north, south, and central. And they all knew about these places because they had already named them. And the names had been solidified by the current person who had occupation and dominion of them, who was a Moor at that time. Over the states of Tripoli and in that area. Because the whole area had been conquered before by those kings previous to any European intervention or European existence. And since the people on the land don't have a direct connection to it and forgot about who they are and what they are, they have allowed this apostate to come upon them in furtherance of the land.
I wouldn't think they forgot though.
How can you forget something? How can you know something that you've never been taught? It's been bred out of you. You, me, we are those people.
Right. The whole aboriginal, like, just like how, you know, motherfuckers be on that, crackers be on that, you know, go back to Mexico.
He did not go and put on no shirt. He getting he getting kind of professional on us, Sanchez. He got an image he must produce. No image. Okay. I just see you put on a nice shirt, guy. That's all I got jokes. I got jokes, man. I mean, you wouldn't change. I mean, you know, hey, it's like party time. You know, when you got on one outfit, you say, shit, it's time to change. Put on another one.
I just had the hoodie on because it's cold. You know, we was on the road and shit.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be cold in this motherfucker, though. Niggas be bitching in here. I don't understand. A $200 light bill made me be like, man, I'm spending too much money on lights.
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's deep, man.
What?
Fucking deep. The whole, like, shit.
I mean, look that up. Amaruka, man.
You take it back.
Tell you, man.
Take it back, but it's going to have to be forces. With forces. Indians, blacks, indigenous, you're going to have to.
Where did the word Indian come from?
I mean, the indigenous, not the
No. I'm asking a question. Where did the word Indian, what did it derive from?
I thought it, well, from what I know, was Columbus thought he was landing on India.
Yeah, but still, before Columbus even thought of the place India, the word India was created by somebody based off of something. Where did that come from? Don't base things on what they told you happened. Base it off of the etymology of the word.
Etymology of India.
Indian.
Wikipedia, the name India is originally derived
Indian.
from the name of the river Sindhu and has been in use in Greek since Herodotus.
Indian. Now, India refers to the Indus Valley.
Etymology of the word Indian.
According to I Love Ancestry, from Latin India, region of the Indus River, later used in that region and beyond.
You still thought you said India.
Yeah. Let me see that blunt.
No, I said India.
She heard India. India.
Shit.
She heard India.
Etymology of Indian.
region of the Indus River, later used in that region and beyond. From Indus River, from O.
So, according to them, Indian doesn't exist.
From Greek, India, region province of Sind, from SKT.
I mean, I might have to read it. Indian origin and meaning of Indian. Okay, let me read it. Inhabit of India or South Asia, pertaining to India. From late Latin, Indianus, from India, see India. Applied to
How did they spell Indianus?
Indian with the U.S. on the end.
Indian?
With U.S. on the end.
Oh, well, damn, I never heard that shit.
Is that the definition or the
Etymology.
That's the etymology?
Yeah.
And the word India.
Hmm?
What's the word indigo?
Etymology of indigo?
Yeah. Since you can't find it like that.
Spelling change of indigo?
Indigo.
I did. It says spelling change of indigo. Blue powder obtained from certain plants. And
That's indigo.
Mm-hmm.
You put indigo in there? You put indigo?
No.
It changed to the indigo.
Or did it change to indigo?
It said spelling change of indigo. At the top, man. You think I'm reading some false stuff?
Oh, they changed it in 1550.
Etymology of Indian.
Oh, that's 17C. That's 1780.
According to I Love Ancestry, from Latin India, region of the Indus River, later used in that region and beyond.
So the word Indian don't mean shit.
First.
Columbus' use of the word Indian.
Yeah, it says the era
Era
of
of
According to
history.
Britannica, the word
Right.
Indian
Columbus thought he was in
Christopher
India and he
Columbus
called him
repeatedly
Indian.
expressed the
And they
mistaken
ever
belief
since
that he had
then they
reached
took
the
that
shores of
name for
South
some
Asia.
reason.
They said word Indian came because repeatedly expressed his mistaken belief. And they stopped taking it. But the word indigo, Indian came from indigo, from the root word, because they were talking about people who were dark skinned.
Blue people. So what the fuck?
The
What the fuck is
Dravidians.
these $5 Indians then?
$5 Indians are the ones that paid $5 to become Indians.
Right, but Indian ain't shit.
But under U.S. law, Indian was
Shit,
a term.
They made up a whole new.
It's their shit, dude. It's their shit.
They made a whole new fucking.
that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. The
a whole
whole
new
thing.
society.
They termed it. They made it up, and they gave certain people this thing, and then they lied about it and let their own people become part of this thing.
Shit, the gays got their own society now.
But you're not listening to
That's something new.
the truth.
That's real. They got their own society.
They've always had their own society, have they not? If it was undercover from what we knew, because they were outcasts, they still had their own society.
Underground, yeah. They pop their head up,
Yeah, right. But since hip hop, is more of a cultural change vehicle, that we have been left out of the vehicle of changing culture, then we can look at the gay community as the same thing, but they always had their own at that point in time.
So I guess that's why they never said nothing to the damn Cleveland Indians, but they made one.
They have said something to the Cleveland Indians, and
they're
about to change what they're doing.
You stuck on that shit, man.
Because he's not catching on.
And they running with it.
He's not catching on.
Just like a foot in a fucking yard and shit.
Because you have people that have been called
go
Indian.
back to what we were saying
Sanchez.
on the road. They fighting against each other, making it seem like it's, oh yeah, we got it ours too, but y'all the same fucking people. If it's their word, and it really don't mean shit, but it's their word, why are you motherfucking gonna make the Indians change their name? Why are you making the Redskins change their name when it's your shit So y'all fighting like, oh yeah, we're for you, and no, just change the shit. We're for you. No, change it. Oh, excuse me.
No matter if it's real, man.
I'm just saying though.
It's about what the people believe, right, Sanchez?
They make it real.
It's about what the people believe, right? Because they've been told they were this for all these times, for all these years. So now, since you've been calling me this, damn it, give me the rights based on I'm this to you. In your language, in your creation, let's go ahead and do that. Now you and I, and we all can agree.
Can black do that?
What is black? I thought we talked about we never talked about that.
No, we did. We talked about it, but we didn't take it all the way. Cause black is, I mean, you look.
Black is the same thing.
We looked up black. No, it wasn't me and you. It was me, Kyle, and India. And black means deep, infinite, everything. Because if you continue to put white in something, it's going to fade away.
It all depends on how you
black creates all.
Think about it now.
So why wouldn't it be wrong to be black?
Think about it. How can it be right? How can it be? When did black people legally exist?
Never.
No. At some point in time, you had a differentiation between white and black people. At some point in time, in one state in America, there was a written law that differentiated between white and black people.
We talking about
in Virginia.
Yeah, that girl, the white chick and the black girl, light skinned chick and the white dude. Lovey.
They made sure before that.
It was before Lovey?
It had to be because that's what they based Lovey off of.
Okay.
That they based it on the differentiation of the skin color makes you black or white. Because all of the people of the natives of the land looked like the people that they were bringing in to be their slaves. They couldn't tell one from another. So they grouped them all together as black.
That came later on.
No, that came in at that point in time where they could not tell the natives from the ones that they brought in Virginia. If you research it, you'll see this to be true because they had many cases where people were getting freedoms.
Right.
People were getting rights that they weren't supposed to have because they were not who they claimed to be. You had Moors that were getting locked up for shit and they were getting let go because they were not who they were told they were.
If they was lucky. If they was lucky.
Because they knew who they were.
Yeah, well, that's another part that they don't, the process.
Yeah. I mean, you got to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? If you make that claim and somebody makes a claim against you and you got a counterclaim and they investigate your counterclaim is true and they can't refute it, they have to acquiesce to that counterclaim. So, since the Moorish Empire did exist, does have a treaty with the United States at that time and at this time, they cannot refute your claim.
And that's the whole thing with it. Like we were talking about, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Man, fuck it, don't. We were talking about something.
Talking about the Moors.
Yeah.
We're talking about black people, actually, and how they came into being. And black people are a creation of the opposite of white people. Instead of calling white people Europeans, and by the countries that they came from, they just made a classification and said white people and grouped them all together. It made them number more, but they were still outnumbered by the black people that were surrounding them because the indigenous people were already dark-skinned. And if you bring in more dark-skinned people amongst other dark-skinned people, they all look alike to you. Because you're not dark-skinned, you're light-skinned, you're white, actually. What you call yourself now. See, there was a creation in America of white and black people. It didn't exist nowhere else before then. They did not differentiate. They might call them Africans, but then they call them white or black.
Yeah, it was based on nationality. Not
Right. It wasn't based on skin color. When the American came with they came with that shit, that was it.
But he said, this is how we do things.
And this is how it's going to be done. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do it like that around here now.
Now we do it because that's the way they do. It's a lot deeper than we think, but then again, it's not.
As a matter of fact, we go by fucking laws of the sea, nigga, because that's beneficial to us.
Laws of the sea?
And how we see it. So that's what we gonna do here.
What do you mean by laws of the sea?
Maritime and shit.
Why is it beneficial?
Admiralty, huh?
How does that benefit us?
No, not us. I'm talking about from their perspective.
Oh. Because they're
To
fictional.
conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, to go somewhere and conquer and impose laws that you familiar with, and they not necessarily familiar with, you got an advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because this law works this way.
Right. So,
It's based on this principle.
Right.
They don't know this, so
same
we're
thing with
gonna.
the white and black thing.
Right.
We have a whole strategy involved when we come at this. So it's not just black and white, nigga. We got the shit figured out. Y'all gonna hear it and just be introduced to it like, what the fuck do that even mean? And by the time y'all figured out what it's even about, we already got everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Everything's already gone. We got it all, and we about to sell it to somebody else so we can get out of shit that we didn't put ourselves in.
It's just like when the cops pull up, nigga. Like, they don't have no jurisdiction over you, but they put you in a situation where you in cuffs. Once you're in cuffs, there ain't really shit you can do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you were right in that moment, and they know it, they're going to confuse and to show that you're right, they still have the power to fucking... They don't have the authority, but they have the power to fucking do whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah.
Take you in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Based on some bullshit.
Yeah. At that point in time, they're your masters.
They don't have no authority, but they have the power to impose some bullshit authority. So by the time your rights and shit is, you know,
what do they legally call that?
Huh?
What do they legally call that?
Arrest, goddamn.
No.
Fucking.
What is using authority that you don't actually have called in law?
In law.
What is using authority you don't actually have called in law? What is using authority you don't actually have?
It's called color of law. Color of law authority. You have the color of law as if what you're doing is lawful.
Right.
But it's only lawful because you have the power to enforce it upon them so they would acquiesce to your power. It's not lawful in and of itself. It's not constitutional in and of itself.
So how would that be different from just a civilian falsely arresting another civilian? Like, I don't have no authority. I don't really have no bullshit authority. I'm just taking it upon myself. What would that be considered? Is that still color of law? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what did the other person do? Did they do something, or did you just walk up on the street and
that's the thing, like,
grab them up? Did they violate a code
so
that you wrote?
Citizen's arrest type shit.
That's the only kind of arrest that I know a citizen can do.
That's what I'm saying. So
he has to be in violation of a law.
So in that moment,
It's gotta
I
be
do have
flagrant.
based on how the law is constructed. Me as a civilian, I have the authority at whatever point.
As long as they're violating the law,
and I'm aware of that law,
that is flagrant, violated, and can harm someone. It has to have some type of harm coming down to it.
Right.
It can't just be, blah, nigga speeding, because speeding's not a law, it's an ordinance.
I feel it.
What's the difference between a law, ordinance, and a code?
That's another thing. I mean,
because pirates have a code.
You know.
So
people don't know that.
If a pirate pull you over and start taking your shit because you violated his code, who's going to stop the pirate from violating your shit?
Well, what power does the fucking pirate have?
It should be the
all the powers that the police officer has.
Power or authority?
It's all about power, brother. It ain't never about authority. Your authority is backed up by the power that you represent to back it up. You don't think so? You don't think that a cop without a gun, without a radio, will have the authority that he has? If a cop was equated to a fucking security guard, you think he would have the authority that he has to pull people over and they would stay there and take that shit? If they didn't have a gun and a radio to call backup, which is more power, to come beat that ass down or kill you.
So is that
if need be?
Is that logical or law?
Do you understand?
Is that logical or law?
Hold up, because you're going on a tangent. I'm trying to get him to see something. Do you understand where the power is and where the authority rests inside of the power?
I think with authority comes power.
No. First comes power, then you exert your authority. You don't have authority without power.
That sounds
because people don't understand authority without power. They understand power first, then you have authority. If I whoop your ass and take your shit, I have fucking authority.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, because I can whoop your ass again and take your shit.
Power over me,
and I will have authority to do it again. Is what I'm saying. You can't stop me.
I'm trying to find a distinction between the two words.
You can't. Okay.
You can have power without authority, but you can't have authority without power.
You cannot have one without the other. They are synonymous. Yes, they are.
You can overpower me without having authority over me. You don't have no authority. That's what the fuck.
What is authority?
Assault and battery is. That's why it's a crime.
Assault and battery.
That's power without authority.
Assault is a crime and battery is a crime.
Right.
So assault is when I talk to you in a negative and disproportionate fashion. Battery is when I put my hands upon you and put my power to batter you against what you told me not to do with my assault.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't no authority. There's no authority.
There is authority.
This is power without authority.
After the power of me putting the battery on you, you know that I can do this at any time. So you go to a greater power.
That's the point. It's a crime. You get locked up.
Right.
That's the distinction.
Okay. So here we go.
If you had authority,
who locks me up? Do you lock me up?
Right.
Yourself?
The authorities lock.
Oh, right. So the authorities lock me up because they have what over me?
Authority. They don't have. They have power and authority.
Okay.
They have what you have plus authority.
Right.
You have power,
but why do they have authority? Where does their authority come from? Where does the state get its authority?
Some type of power.
It's the government.
Where does the state, when they come against you, whom is coming against you? It's the state of Georgia versus who? Who comprises the state of Georgia?
The residents and the constituency.
Well, damn it, there you go.
Come on, man.
Where did they get? No, I'm not. I'm going to the point. I'm coming to the point. Just listen to what I'm saying.
All I said was you can have.
You're not want stop. No.
There's a distinction.
Listen to what I'm saying. The people themselves give the state the authority to put that power upon you, right?
But they don't give citizens authority to batter other citizens. They only give citizens authority. The state can only give the citizen authority to arrest another citizen. You know, they give you the power to have that authority. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, if you go try to impose something without authority, it's just power without authority. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying perfectly. Now, what I'm saying, I don't think you catch on to, because you're saying that the state can give somebody authority, but the authority of the state is granted by the people that make up that state, correct?
Yeah.
And if you are part of the people that make up that state, you have given them authority over you because of you being in agreement with the rest of the people in the state, right?
Not automatic.
What?
That's why it's a case by case thing.
No.
You don't automatically grant the people authority over you. It's the same thing, just like another citizen. A one-to-one, just like a one to a society.
No. If you are the people in the state, right? You, me, Sanchez, we are the people in a state, right? And it's the state of D. In the state of D, we say that you can't do blase squat. So we call the police on 1, 2, or 3 in the state of D, right? We've all granted the state of D and the police with this power because this guy has violated a rule in the state of D, right? So we've all given them this power, whether or not we stand up and say we did it or not. They're using the name in your name, the power granted to you, to them by your acquiescence into their state, which gives them power and authority granted to you by yourself to the state.
I mean, I get that. I'm saying,
But the state has to get it granted to them first, is what I'm saying.
By you being a citizen, you granted.
You would assume or presume that's the case. But are you a state citizen?
If you involved with, if you're in a situation like that, you would assume that if I'm imposing as a citizen arrest on another citizen, I have to be a civilian. I can't claim sovereignty.
Can you be a state citizen arresting a citizen, or can you be a federal citizen arresting a citizen? Which one are you? There are two different types, so I need to know.
You can be either one.
You can be either one.
If you're not
Under either jurisdiction, you can use that jurisdiction to arrest another person who's not in the same jurisdiction.
If you're in the same jurisdiction, you're in the same jurisdiction. If you're not from that jurisdiction, you're just there.
So if I'm a state citizen and you're a federal citizen, can you affect the citizen's arrest upon me?
No, but as a federal, I can on you. That's the whole hierarchy.
Is that
if
true?
I'm federal, I can impose on you, but as a state, you can't. A state, unless we're talking, and just like in the military, when you become a chief and shit, but an enlisted E2 can't fucking bring charges on a lieutenant, it's not equal like that. It's the same thing in the world. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not the same thing in the world. Because a state citizen,
federal always trumps
which stood first. Stop what you're thinking. Stop your line of thought, because your line of thought is based on what they call federalism. Federalism was not before the states. The states created federalism.
About what I see.
No. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying stop the line of thought at federalism.
I'm watching SCIS and all that shit.
No, I'm not worried about all that.
Step in. The
No.
We got it. Y'all go.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but yet and still, stop the federalism argument, because the states were before. And my point is,
I get that.
Before you were a state citizen, a federal citizen, there were state citizens, and
right.
After
there was no federal at that point.
After state federal citizenship, there are still state citizens that are separate and distinct from the federal.
I just said that, like a warrant officer in the military, or a fucking E7 or E10.
Okay. See,
you still enlisted, but you still
when you come across with the military to me is an extension of a corporation
rank. As far as rank is concerned,
I can't deal with the point. There's no rank when it comes to someone that is not under a ranking system. When you're a state citizen, you're not under
hierarchy. How it works?
There's no hierarchy with a state citizen. What I'm trying to say, in comparison to a federal citizen, where there is a hierarchy because you're occupying an office of citizen. In a state citizen, you're not in that federal office. There's a distinction between the two, is what I'm trying to get you to see, and that you're not seeing. Okay.
Who outranks who though?
There's no outranking. The state citizen outranks the corporate citizen all day long, because the corporate citizen is based on a corporation that has ranks, that has privileges, that has things that you have to take for the corporation. The state exists before the corporation was ever created. So therefore, the one that created the creator can never be less than what it created.
What you equating is, I'm talking rank in the military. You equating rank in the military to like family shit, like.
No, I did not say that. I did not say anything about familial or anything. I said state and federal are two different things. Right. So the state, since it was before the federal, because you had 13 states, right. before you had a federal anything. Before you had a federal, you had a confederation of the states.
All them words. Right.
So therefore, the one that came second after the first creation fell off can never be better or greater than the one state.
It can be greater.
No, it can't.
You can. You can reconstruct the whole shit. What you mean?
Can you?
You can make it to
Are you greater than God?
Come on, man.
If the state created the federal government, how can the federal
power? I'm talking about in ranking.
Where does the federal government get its power? From the conglomerates of states banded together to keep it as such.
Okay, let me give. Can I use the analogy?
Run it.
Okay, which came first, the corporation or the union?
The union. The union came before the corporation because corporations were not created to be a union until after the union was disbanded. Once the union was disbanded, you had another corporation, which was a confederacy.
My question wasn't all that complicated, man. Which came first, the corporation or the union?
Your question was not that complicated, but you're looking at it from a lens where you're looking at it from a lens. It is not a simple question.
If it's a relevant answer, just say it's not irrelevant.
It's not a simple question. Because how can I sit there and tell you
which came first?
That's the type of question you just asked.
That's the same kind of question.
That's the type of question you just asked. Okay, which one came first? The corporation came first?
I would like to say the corporation came. The union is, as far as...
Prove that the corporation came first.
Okay. When I say union, I don't mean like the word union or whatever definition, the origin of the word. I'm talking
union of the states.
A union,
the union of the states that the country... Okay.
A union of workers.
Citizens. Workers.
That in that construct.
Oh, you talking about unions as a whole, like a union of people forming together?
Yeah,
inside of
the corporation was first before the union.
Okay, so if the corporation came first, there's still a mechanism within that whole relationship to where the union gains more power, more precedent over the actual corporation, is it not?
Yes.
So the corporation came first when you said you can't gain power, the creator, I can't create you and you gain more power than the creator. You made the whole God and man thing. I ain't talking God and man. There's a way for the union to gain more power than the corporation itself. Who was the union
comprised of?
What?
Who was the union comprised of?
The workers.
So, in your analogy,
right.
Who was the corporation on my end? When I'm talking, who's the corporation? Is a corporation the state or the federal government? Because you're saying that the federal government will be the union, right?
No,
which derives from the power,
right.
But the federal government is not the people. The federal government itself is a corporation. So how can a corporation become the people and have power over the people when the people created the corporations themselves?
I see what you're saying.
So, what you did with the word union, hold up. And this was my thought, because we were on a state and a national basis. When you said union, I was thinking of the union of the 50 states.
Right, the states.
Okay.
I caught that.
And you were like, whoa. And I was like, so I'm thinking something different.
Right.
Okay, so you got to differentiate.
Yeah, the term
here with me because I'm a stickler. Okay, so therefore we're back to the people being the power and creator of everything that is fictional. Corporations are not real.
I go with that.
States are not real.
But they've created
nations
an environment where it is.
But they only created and it's sustained.
A corporation is supposed to be treated like, I understand the basis of what you're saying, but I'm just saying what the fuck is they doing?
Because they're doing this to keep people in the abstract thought of mind.
There ain't nothing abstract about the law.
It is if you can't recognize that the law is not based on what you think it is. Their codes, their statutes, their rules. Right?
Yeah.
Those all have the power of law. You see that right there by the window? They all have power of law, right?
Right.
So if they all have the power of law, how can you tell which is which?
You will have to do some studying, some digging and shit.
And if you don't do that, then you'll just fall for everything that they do.
But that's how it's predicated. It's predicated on always evolving. So you can never really keep up. You have to
all the
all
time.
the fucking time.
Right.
Who can do that and
Put
live a regular
on some
life?
clothes. Put on some clothes.
And live a regular life, man. Like, it's a whole different language, man. And it's intended that way. It's not intended to be simple.
And remember what I said about the English language when we first started.
It's confusing off the rip. And then they...
On purpose.
Then they,
See?
to go from something founded on confusion to a whole nother language within that language. Like, nigga. To be a lawyer is like...
Bruh! I studied law for 2 years. That's why I'm looking at shit like, bruh, these niggas is dumb. And I'm looking at lawyers like, y'all are even dumber.
That's the whole thing. Like, I was like, so, first of all, how does these niggas getting, I look at the whole, Trump, Trump and Merrick, them niggas, the lawyers, for all of the niggas that be getting shot.
Oh, nigga, they ambulance chases.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, so these the only two niggas that's capable in the whole country of defending.
They're the only two that are authorized.
That's the thing, like, how the fuck people don't see this? These niggas always popping up. Just like Jesse Jackson back in the day, Sharpton and them niggas. Like,
they didn't want to see it then. They won't see it now because they're a group of us that refuse to see exactly what's before us and take the belief of what we want it to be.
What we want it to be, just like with women, man. They want to hear.
Hey, stop it. Stop it. No, I'm not going
This is
there.
my experience.
I'm not
I'm
going
speaking
there.
from my
No.
experience.
Okay,
but
we're
you
not
never heard the
recording.
concept.
We're not recording.
Just
Go
like
ahead.
We are recording.
when he said the beautiful lie,
We are recording.
that's, the beautiful lie, man. Like, that sounds a whole lot better. I know you bullshitting me, but say that instead of the truth. I ain't trying to hear that shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, now that's
The
the
truth
really
not get me in
real.
the
That's the
mood,
really
man.
real because that's
The
because
truth ain't
most
gonna get
people.
me in the mood unless the truth is, like, you gotta know somebody that, I could be truthful and still be aggressive and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Besides that, nigga, I ain't trying to hear the truth. Tell me some bullshit. Some shit I want to hear. Let's just go like with that. You know what I'm saying?
But don't you think
That's how most people are.
Yeah. But I think I'm like that 9th out of 10 motherfucker that's sitting back like, hold the fuck up, man. Why we all riding along with this shit anyway? What the fuck are we getting out of it? A good time? How long would a good time fucking last as a memory, nigga?
Event-free life, man.
How long would a good time last as a memory? When the bad times come, that good time ain't gonna mean shit because it ain't gonna assault you in your bad times. It's not gonna make your bad times stop. Now, if your bad times are predicated off of what you don't have, like you ain't got no money, and you done saved up some money, then you good on your bad times, and you got a memory, I done saved this money. Right. But if you ain't saved that money, you use that money to have a good fucking time to make a great fucking memory. Now you remember, man, if I had to spend that goddamn 20 grand on that good time, I could have me a little something right now. Now you tell me how much is a memory worth?
What's worse than that is to save all your life and make that effort and still at some point in your life get reminded what this thing is about. I feel for those people, but at the same time, it's like, you could be ignore shit, fucking tunnel vision and shit. I just gotta get mine, and it is what it is. But, down the line, and you finally get that reminder, and that should tear your world up. Because the longer it go without the reminder, the harder it's going to be to take. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because, yeah. There's an interval in between the ignorance and the truth. Because you need to have that
reminder.
That buffer. Yeah. That buffer's on between
and
you.
It's not about, feeling less than, like, I want to feel good about myself. The truth, nigga. You got to come to terms with the truth, nigga. Like, America is what it is, but, you gotta understand what it is. If you, it affect how you move, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be.
You don't want to stand up and recognize exactly what the fuck is going on here, and you want to keep living in your delusion. You want to keep your fake progress up. Cool. You want to prop your family up and have everybody have degrees and be doctorates and all this shit and
be paying $250,000 for the rest of their life.
And then you think about it. The one thing that you can concentrate on that you can be counted on to do that one thing that everybody else can be counted on to do.
What's that?
if you're a degreed person and you in that realm, in that professional realm, you can be counted on to do that one thing that they all do together, which is ignore.
Oh yeah, the reality
with the blind right. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on going. It don't matter. You know, fuck it. Yeah, hey. You know, that's conspiracy.
Those people, like, you grew up in that neighborhood, but now they're those people. Like, wow.
We are those people now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got people on Facebook who I know. This nigga's crazy, man. You know, I went to school with this nigga. I used to go to church with him. You know, he's 360 from what 180 from what he was. You know, he used to believe in God. He used to go to Jesus, sing all.
What, you talking about you?
Yeah. You know, cause I was heavy into it. You know, but while I was in it, I was still looking at other things. Like, look, man, this shit ain't real. You know, and I was telling them, you know, inside, you know, hey, man, they weren't trying to hear it. You know, I wasn't. You know, I went to the pastor a couple of times. I was like, look, man, I'm done. I'm good. Y'all can have all this for yourself. Y'all can sit in this shit and
preacher man, like, all right, nigga, just throw something in the plate and go about your business.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I used to be in there counting the money, so you know, I know where the money went, what happened. You know what I'm saying? How people got down. People's lives were financed off the church. Okay, financed. All right. So you can say what you want. I know it's a business at the end of the day. It is based on the government. Okay, that these 14th Amendment citizens who are not state citizens can contract out with this corporation or this non-profit entity.
Right. What is it?
501(c)(3)s now. You know, beyond before that. Yeah, but before that, a church had a status all of its own. It used to just a church, and they respected that. Now, right. With the partnership. Yeah. With the government, what we want you to do. If you accept it to be a 501(c), you have to accept it. You know, they can't force you to accept it publicly. Right. Okay? That's one thing. A contract will never be forcefully given to you publicly.
The same shit we was talking about.
Except for NBA, NFL.
What you mean, nigga?
Those are not forcefully given publicly. What are you talking about?
They sound
forceful. But they're not forcibly given.
No, they're not forceful.
Nobody gives you a contract forcibly unless they're fraudulent off the rip. They don't give you a contract that you don't know what's in a contract unless it's fraudulent off the rip.
Yup.
Sleepy G.
I feel you.
But I mean, based on, you know, those things are ancillary to what we're actually here for. You know, people always say, man, what's the meaning of life? What do you think the meaning of life is? Is it to acquire material goods? If that's what you think, then you have sorely fooled yourself. That shit just flipped and just did something.
So, what is the...
I'm still going over here, I guess.
What is the consciousness of all that?
Consciousness?
Yeah. What's the consciousness to all that?
What?
The consciousness to all of that. Yeah, I mean, what does that put us conscientiously?
God damn, I'm a greasy bastard.
You know what I'm saying? What does that put us conscientiously?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, in the context of what you put up, I'm saying conscientiously. What are you trying to say? What does put us what?
Well, everything y'all I said, everything that was just talked about in that conversation. What was the last thing? What was it? Forcibly.
The forced contract. Yeah.
Contracts.
Forcible contract.
Right. Forcible contracts.
Well, you know, you got to look at
powers.
The
powers. The unions.
The authority and the
authority.
Power, yeah.
The power. Where does that put us conscientiously?
Well, that puts us at the people or the authority or the power that the state wields. Without the people backing it up, the state cannot do what it does. The people accept what the state does. The state does not pay attention to Constitution. Is it dying on you? It does not pay attention to rights. None of that shit. Because you can have a police officer can get behind your car and run your tag and do a search. And they have no reason to do it.
No probable cause.
Nothing. They just did it because they fucking wanted to do it. And the state uphold that, and you're in court. And you're like, why did he do it? And he said, well, he had a reason to. He said you were doing it, blah, blah. That's not a fucking reason. Well, how about where is he at? Oh, he doesn't have to show up, but you do. What? How did we get to that? Because people don't care. They allowed the state to make shortcuts in how it daily operates to save money for the state, which saves money for the taxpayers because they actually pay for the state's operation.
You ever been in the backseat of a cop car?
Hell yeah.
Don't nobody look at the fucking cops, man.
Huh?
You sit in the back of that motherfucker like looking at people and shit as you on your way to that motherfucker?
Oh, motherfucker be looking in the back seat to see who in there. They be like,
no, I'm saying like, well, if they do, they be real slick about it.
oh yeah.
Nobody want to be seen.
Nobody want to make eye contact with them
With
some
a cop,
bitches.
man.
Yeah. I got pulled over actually for making eye contact with a cop.
Yeah.
I got pulled over.
It's so rare that people do it. When they do catch it, it's like, oh, he must be doing something.
And exactly what he said. He said, oh yeah, I caught eye contact with you there, guy. You doing something wrong? I said, hold up, man. I said, you pulled me over because we caught eyes? He said, yeah, you started looking off. So I said, motherfucker, you the police. I'm a black man. I'm riding down Wesley Chapel. Okay? He said, well, yeah, your tag was kind of. I said, well, there you go, motherfucker. You figured the shit out on your own. Well, your tag was there and you don't have any insurance. I said, did I not pull into the insurance place? He said, yeah. I said, I'm about to get insurance right now. How the fuck you know what I was going to do?
Right.
I said, you're bothering me because I looked at you in your eyes and you said I'm doing something wrong because I looked at you. That was your whole pretense because I fucking looked at you and you pulled me over with the power and authority of the law. Right? Because he had authority then, right? And he had power because he had that goddamn gun. And that radio and call for backup. So therefore, like I said before, that power and authority ride together.
Order in the court.
Man, we ain't gonna do that.
Order in the
I'm
court.
just saying they ride together.
You can have power without
This
authority.
is the thing.
Not the police though. I'm talking about the police. Now your grandmama can have power without authority.
You got
Yeah.
both.
With respect.
She got a trifecta. But your grandmama got it, and your grandpapa got the power and the authority.
Yeah.
Okay? Because your granddaddy, he can back it up with his power. Your grandma, she really ain't got to back it up with her power at
What she
all.
do? She can.
She ain't got
How power
to.
is your respect for?
Her power is based out of what you what you say. Now the police power,
Nonetheless.
right? But the police power is based off of their collective ability to come against you. At any point in time when you say, hey, I need backup. Oh shit! Oh, here we go. So that is somebody's going to jail. You already know that.
We are bored. Resistance is futile.
Hey man. Like I said, police have no constitutional reason to exist.
All right. Order in the court. For real though, man. What does that leave us conscientiously?
Man, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
I'm still on this.
He's still on conscientiously.
Conscientiously.
So what he's saying?
What is the conscious community talking about? Remember, I wanted to tell you. I wanted to talk about this. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I mean, we done broke down the etymology. Now, what is the conscious community? Because by doing this, we are part of the conscious community. Poor righteous teachers.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I'm just saying. Yes, I am. So, by breaking down the etymology, how does that make me? I guess since he said it's me, how does that make me feel?
You you ask the questions, nigga. I don't know what you're talking about.
How does that make me feel?
Shit. How does it make you feel?
Right.
That's the question.
What is? Let me say this.
Okay, say it so we can understand it and then answer it.
And this is a question that we had talked about with the mental health lady.
Mental health lady.
Yeah.
Take that up real quick, man.
With the mental, she's a
I don't fucking know.
she's a mental health administrator. The mental health administrator. So, and that question would be, what do we struggle with? What do we struggle with? So how does that affect us conscientiously?
What do we struggle with?
This is what we're struggling with. What we just talked about, right? The etymology. The etymology
Of the words in the English language.
The structure.
Let me say something real
Structure.
quick. Let me
Power
say something real
structure.
quick. All right, so in school, like going to public school, I went to public school. You went to public school, private school?
Public school. Everybody went to public school.
Public school. So in public school, you know, all the grades you had English class, right? Right?
Right.
So, you know, and this goes with a whole lot of other shit, right? Why wasn't root word situations being preached in school? If you don't have English, you want the kids to understand English.
They did do
the
root words and prefixes.
Okay?
Suffixes.
So, when you introduced to etymology, the word etymology.
Now that word, I
Answer the
don't.
question, nigga.
It wasn't in school.
I've heard it. I ain't heard it, but now to sit here
But it
and
depends on how far you win your
I've never
education.
talked-
Answer the question, nigga.
I've never
When
talked
would
about
the
it.
word. When do you first remember hearing the word
I
taking
mean,
or register the word registering in your head?
probably sometime
Etymology.
in my well, that's what I'm saying. I never sit down and talked about it. But I probably heard it early 20s. You know what I'm saying? But never sit down and really had a discussion. And I might have heard it a couple
So,
times. And
After you got
feel
out of
me?
high school and all that shit, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
how was it possible?
I mean, I might have heard it before that, but I'm just
I'm
gonna
talking
say
about when it
that.
registered. When you remember it registering in your head, it registered in my head a few years ago. Man. I realized it was something important. You know what I'm saying? Where it stuck with me, a word that I need to understand and realize.
I mean, when you hear etymology, you automatically think language.
listen, nigga, I asked you a
I'm
question.
just saying. That's what I'm saying. You just automatically think language, so you don't look into that word in particular.
That's all that shit
That's what I'm
is
saying.
relevant, man. I'm asking you when you was introduced to the word. I have a point.
Okay, go ahead.
When do you remember the word registering in your head? Etymology.
Probably about 11th, 12th grade for me. I studied
And it
Latin.
stuck with you?
I studied Latin for 5 years in high school.
Well,
So
there you have it. Okay, so I went to public school. It never registered in my head until a few years ago that this is a word that's important to know. That's an important subject. That word is an important subject to know. Like anthropology and shit. I have a vague idea what that means. All these words, geology, biography, or biology, all these words that are scientific words to describe a certain thing within the planet or whatever. Etymology was not one of those words. You know what I'm saying? So we had a whole
okay, I get where you're going with it. I get where you're going with
we
it.
had a whole English curriculum throughout the
Ologies,
years.
you know what I'm saying? You had, the biology,
Chemistry, all this
chemistry,
other shit.
you know what I'm saying? The
Science,
human
too.
physiology.
And I go the same thing with civics and government and shit.
Right,
I
but you
remember
didn't have
we
no
had civics.
etymology class
Yeah, well, I'm
teaching you
saying-
about the words or the meanings of words.
And when you talking going to school, learning something that'll translate to life. How the fuck is that not discussed as something that translates into life? If we want people to be able to exist in a society
But
to the highest,
now you see the truth, right?
yeah, that's my point. Like
Okay.
algebra and all that shit.
It's all there for confusion. It's not that it
How
teaches
can
you
you have it all
something.
those years and that not be a vital part of the whole thing? Like English was important to me because I wanted to know words and shit. But how could I not have been introduced to the deeper meanings behind words in all these years of school? I'm talking about Shakespeare and all this other shit you want me to read, but you're not telling me like these words mean more than what the fuck they saying. You know what I'm saying? That should have been the focal point of the curriculum. Knowing what I know now. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's a good.
You don't want to know.
Right, God damn it.
Taxes, accounting and shit. There's one class for accounting. Maybe you got accounting too. But nigga, you need accounting more than you need fucking algebra and shit. Why isn't this shit that translates into the real world the shit that's being focused
Because, you know, there are certain things I think, and this is my thought. This is my thought.
To this day, like, they get it.
They
use
it.
Getting it. They all get it.
Yeah. But about how they teach it's about how they teach it to you, and then the teachers letting you know what's going on afterwards with it. I think that's the difference between private and public schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, private school, they're going to focus on you adhering to life afterwards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And how you can apply what you've learned in your life. Public school, they trying to get you through that fucking class and get the fuck out and get the next class in and get them niggas through that shit, finish the day.
The devious part of that whole thing, before you go to the next thing, the devious part of that thing is how we going into this whole new phase of, learning. The whole Common Core shit. That whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So
the common
to have a child in this environment where you learn things a whole different way than the shit they teach you now. And to go to the teachers, I'm a fucking fool. So once by the time I'm going to the teacher, I already got my own argument. I already know what the fuck I'm gonna say. And there's only a few things that you can say back that's gonna make sense to me. So you go to them like, oh, how did you learn how to do division? Well, I learned such and such. I'm like, I learned that way that you just told me that you like, why the fuck is they teaching our kids
something totally different?
Oh, well. So if you only got a few options at that point, I already set you up. You know what I'm saying? You only got a few things that you can say that's going to make sense to me. Either you can say, it's out of my hands, which I understand, but that ain't good enough.
Nope.
Or, we found something better, which, if that's an argument, I would rather hear that than, I have no choice in anything. It's the curriculum is the curriculum. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they come. It's the curriculum, it's the curriculum. It ain't on me, nigga. No, I'm the wrong motherfucker to be talking to. But you're the only one to talk to at this point.
Maybe,
whatever the case.
Maybe because we don't know how to portray it yet. I don't know, but
the what?
Maybe because we don't know how to portray it.
Who's the we?
Us, black people. Maybe we don't know how to portray it and put it out there, illuminate it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's the point.
I'm saying,
okay.
If let's say this, if etymology is would you agree etymology is a force?
Hold up, man. Fuck all that other shit, man.
Oh, come on, man.
So
follow me.
You can't just be saying shit and think somebody's just gonna let it go, man.
Follow me.
So, with that same way of thinking,
he's the moderator. He's a goddamn Sanchez.
Got me again, man. Going to your crazy shit.
For real.
He's hilarious. Oh my God. He said, you got me again.
This is good stuff.
Excuse me.
That's why it's questions like that come out of me when I hear good stuff like this, man. And I need to know. I just want to hear what both of you have to say about that. So you agree that etymology is a force? It is a force that can...
It's a science, dude. It's not a force. Right. It's a science. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all sciences, it can be learned and used to either better or for worse. For you not knowing, it's obviously going to be to your detriment. It's going to be for your worse.